Alan, you know what's really fun? Puking while having a number 2 accident in the lobby of the urgent care in front of 20 people.
Oh, that's great.
Alan, how come nobody mentioned that Bill's depression poops are just him being down in the dumps?
Right, there he is.
I get it, right?
Who's
figured
that?
it out.
That person needs to be my friend.
Who's your friend?
There's your friend.
Who's your friend? Oh boy.
What?
Got some.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh no, I'm just somebody. There's a thing I use here off to the side in which I've loaded some of my hilarious sound effects, and I'll go right to it, and it looks as though they've all been deleted.
Oh,
Again?
no.
Well, no, I still have the clips, but they're not. I should have a file specifically in my button bar that is not there, and so I don't know what that means, but it just means that I'll have to go back through and recollect it. It just can't be easy around here. Can anything be easy? Just one thing be easy around here.
No, that's not
I
how
don't
we're
think
doing
that's,
things.
no.
Not with this company. Now I get to come up with creative thumbnails for everything that we post.
Hey, there we go.
Fortunately, you are a creative guy.
Yeah.
Of course, Mary has awakened the ire of the Verners crowd
Ugh.
with her anti-Verners remarks.
Well, when I was in Toledo,
Hot Verners, obviously, is what
that's
you're
what everybody
supposed to...
says. It's
Yeah.
so gross. So I didn't
when
like it
you're,
because
not feeling good.
when I want ginger ale, I don't want pop. And I feel like Verners is very sweet.
It's the same
It is
thing.
not.
It
Canada
is.
Dry
It's
and
marketing.
other types of ginger ale are not as sweet.
I
It's
bought-
not marketing, it's taste.
I bought
No,
a
I
thing
think-
of Canada Dry, and I bought a thing of Verners. They taste exactly
they do not.
the same.
No,
Yes,
they
No,
don't
they
taste
do.
exactly the same, but I would say that Canada Dry is way sweeter
No,
than Verners.
Verners tastes like sugar water.
Verners is like the amount of ginger they put in Verners is enough to like raise your eyebrows and like.
I disagree.
It's
like
a
when
lot.
you go to sip
Like-
it, you have to remember to not breathe it in
Yes.
because you'll cough.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Unless
whatever.
I'm thinking
Vernors
of the,
is
no,
more
I know I'm
potent.
thinking of the right thing because there were certain places in Toledo that only had Verners.
Yeah.
A lot like you had to go to specific grocery stores to get Canada Dry.
Toledo is more Michigan than Detroit.
Oh,
or
100%.
than Ohio in many ways.
Yeah. I do not like it.
Well,
I mean, it's okay to not
then
like it, but I just don't
fine.
think it's sweeter.
I feel like I haven't had it in a few years, but it was sometimes the only thing I could get in Toledo.
I'll tell you what, in the throes of my sweating and aching yesterday afternoon, I was trying to kind of release some endorphins, and so we booted up YouTube on the television, and my daughter was very interested in goats in pajamas videos.
Okay.
There you go.
Not really my thing, but I thought, oh, maybe this will be good. Maybe this will release some positive
Get you laughing.
hormones. Whatever. I didn't laugh, but yeah, it was fine. Hey, I've got another $1,000 for you in about 5 minutes. Chance for you to go fund yourself 30 past every hour today. How was Florida, by the way? Mary
was
took an
so
impromptu
great.
trip to Florida because we had a long weekend.
Yeah.
Even longer than we had planned on.
Anticipated. Well, it was I went to the art museum with my sister on Saturday, and I had never been, and it was so cool, and I didn't know it was free.
The
and if
Cleveland Museum of Art?
Yes, I had never been there, and it was just such an awesome way to spend the day. But that's when it was really the weather was starting to turn for the worse. It was cold afterwards, and I'm sitting in my house, and I'm like, man, I also haven't been on the road since the beginning of December. I had one night in Cincinnati, and that was it. So for me to take essentially 2 months off the road is a really long time. And so I was feeling like itchy, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look up cheap flights just for gigs and see what happens. And then a flight came up for $150 round trip to Fort Lauderdale, and I looked up the weather. 79 degrees on Sunday, 73 on Monday, and I was like, screw this, I'm going. And I went, and it was beautiful and perfect.
Did you go down and get any impromptu spots or no?
No, I didn't want to do stand-up. I just kind of wanted to get away for a few days.
wanted to relax.
I wanted to relax.
You wanted to do
Rocky
lie down.
Four, yeah.
Yes, I wanted to do lie down, not stand up. Yeah, I got in Sunday. My flight landed at like 2:45. I got to the beach at like 4, and I stayed there until sunset was at 6. And then I had dinner, a really nice dinner, and then I went
All solo.
all solo. And then I just went back to my hotel, ate an edible, watched a movie, and then
Spend a little Mary time.
yeah.
They
and then
call that self-care, Alan.
Self-care.
It's
Is
that what they
self-care.
call it, Bill?
Yeah.
All right,
Selfish
sir.
care.
selfish, and it's not selfish if no one else is affected by it.
It was a mecation, but you didn't get on Tinder and see what the scene was out there?
So, actually, well...
Poundcake swings in with the pertinent question.
Because I know what I would do, and Mary's a single gal just like me, so...
When
you are a single gal, aren't you?
You are a single gal.
I am a very single gal.
Actually, when I was down there, I deleted the dating apps that I was on because I was in such a good mood and happy, and I was doing what I wanted to do, and I was like, if I don't want to be with somebody while I'm happy, then I probably shouldn't be with somebody. Like, if I'm only liking these guys or wanting to interact because I'm sad or bored at home, and when I'm happy and enjoying myself, dating is the last thing on my mind, I was like, then I'm clearly not in a spot for a relationship right now. So I was like, if I don't want a boyfriend when I'm happy, I don't need one. So I deleted the apps while I was down there, actually.
Boo.
I know.
You didn't want to go for some Sunshine State Strange?
Nope.
Oh.
I am
Florida
very
shaped
terrified.
like a penis for a reason.
Fort Lauderdale. You could have got some nice Trump supporter D. They probably would have hooked you up with like a country club membership.
I did
Could have been on the news. We could have been talking about you. Radio co-host murdered in Florida.
I don't want to do that.
You didn't think about us.
You're right. That would have spiked your guys' ratings. And I apologize.
It would have been very interesting.
I'm sorry.
Why were you guys off an extra day? Well, everyone in my house was sick, and then, Mary got murdered in Fort Lauderdale.
Casually.
Really put a
Casually murdered. No
stick
big
in
deal.
our spokes, as it were.
She was wearing really nice clothes.
Yeah.
No, it was great. I highly recommend it to anybody. And everyone's like, "Oh, you just got it like that to go." I'm like, this whole trip cost me $350.
Good for you.
I mean, that's
And
including.
you even did it. Who cares? It's
Right,
your money.
and that's the other thing. But
like
it's one of
anybody
those-
that's like, oh, you got it. Screw you.
But
She's
I
allowed to
don't-
spend her money how she wants.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate
I believe
that.
Bobby Brown said it best. I made my money. I can spend it how I want. It's my
Exactly.
prerogative.
I can do whatever I want.
But if you could, like most people, I feel like if they could get away for 48 hours, if they didn't have any kids, if they weren't married, they didn't have like work obligations, why wouldn't you go on a vacation if you could?
Right. Well, and that's the things I like to buy things. I like nice things. I like having my nails done. I got my hair done. Like, I like having things and looking presentable, but I want to spend more money.
You know, I like looking presentable.
I do.
Presentable
I've said that
is
100 times.
That's the ceiling there. Yeah, presentable.
I don't need to look great. I want to look presentable.
I want to look presentable. I want to be in public and not have people give me money
Yes.
in the cup I'm holding.
I don't-
Because
I got a date with this girl last night, and let me tell you, she looked presentable.
Oh,
Right.
So presentable.
I don't want to look like I eat out of a trash can, but I also don't want to look like, hoity-toity.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But
you
just
want to look presentable hot.
presentable hot. Well, approachable hot. Yeah. 6 out of 10. No, but it was a great trip. I highly recommend it to anybody. I'm like, dude, you can find cheap. I mean, I flew Spirit. I didn't check a bag or anything like that because I was only going for 2 days. So I
just
took
hop on a
bathing
plane.
suit, dress,
Yes.
some shoes, and
It's the best way to do it.
get out of here, man.
Yep.
It was amazing.
It's like a road trip, but in the air.
An air trip.
much
Look at that.
How much was your hotel?
It was $150 because I book it. I use Priceline. They have this thing that's called Express Deals where they give you a star rating and a neighborhood, but they don't tell you exactly
one,
which
yeah.
hotel it is until you book it. I use this on the road all the time.
I will not
It
use-
sounds sketchy, but I promise you it's not.
I stopped using booking sites altogether. I book through the hotel.
Now-
So many times I got screwed at the front desk because I booked. And if you book through one of those third-party sites, the hotel can't do anything about it. They're like,
Well-
you got to take it up with them. I'm like, okay, it's not like I can call Priceline.
That's the
I
issue.
book through the hotel.
Both
all
of
the
them
time.
will say that about each other. So if there's an issue with the hotel's like, well, we can't refund your money because you did it through Priceline. And Priceline's like, oh, well, we don't own that hotel.
Right.
So you have to,
Why do I want
so
the hassle?
if there is an issue, it's kind of annoying, but I got 2 nights for $58 a night. So I can't really complain.
How many stars?
2.5.
Ooh, 2.5. What accounts for the half star? When your hotel is at 2 stars,
Now-
what accounts for the half?
I will say this since I'm not there. I'm worried about, obviously, I don't want
that
people to
hotel
know
is
where
a
I'm
solid
staying.
C plus.
It was an extended stay. So if you extended stay is fine. It's got the full kitchen and everything like that. But if you're going to stay in crappy hotels, this is
I thought extended stay you had to have a minimum of a week or something.
no. You can book any amount of nights.
You can?
It's just. I think you either get a discount or something the longer you stay there. But it's made. They have a full kitchen in every
I
single
don't
room.
like any hotel that has a kitchen.
You're not
in
going to
it.
cook.
Well, it's for people who are staying for a
Yeah.
week and a half. That
No,
way they can go grocery shopping.
I understand
or
what they're
whatever.
for,
Yeah.
but you were not going to cook. Why would you
No.
get a place with a kitchen?
I did.
'Cause she could
You don't
just
know
do the
the
star
actual
rating.
name. I just
So
did the
she
star
said,
rating.
Give me 2.5 stars and $58 a night.
Exactly.
And
Well,
show me where I'm
here's
going.
what was annoying is that it was like it shows you it's like it's going to be one of these 3 hotels, and it was like a Renaissance, a Holiday Inn Express, and an extended stay. And I was
Gee,
like,
I guess
You know
which.
exactly which one it is.
That's
my
right.
fingers were crossed. I was like, don't be the extended stay. Don't be the extended stay.
It's like
You
the
know
it's
it's
like
gonna
you're-
be the
You're
extended
playing bed bug roulette.
I checked for the bed bugs. There were none. But yeah, so I just went there. But here, tip to staying in a hotel with less than 3 stars: don't leave your room at night. That's basically. I went down to go. I know better than that because I've traveled enough. I went down to go to the vending machine on the first floor, and the elevator was like wouldn't close, and I'm like not getting in there. And so I went down the stairs, and there was a lady like passed out on the stairs with a bottle of Bacardi next to her, and I was
Oh,
like,
my God.
I'm gonna go back to my room. I don't need chips that
That's an
bad.
extended stay.
Right.
She's dead 2 hours later. All right, I got $1,000 here to give to you. Boy, what Mary could have done with $1,000 there in Florida. She wouldn't have had to have worried about homeless drunk women
Got 3.5
or
stars.
working
Yeah.
elevators or anything. $1,000 for you. Good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Go fund yourself. We have your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword MOM to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info, standard data, and message rate supply in this nationwide contest. That's MOM to 200-200. Good luck and go fund yourself from 100.7 WMMS.
Alan, I hate to burst Mary's bubble, but
no.
Canada Dry Ginger Ale has 59 grams of sugar, whereas Verner's has 39.
Well,
per
it doesn't
serving.
taste like it.
So there you go. Again, who could have ever foreseen people planting their flags in the
Oh, people get
Verner's
worked up about
v
this.
Canada Dry?
I
I'm
did-
sorry, I prefer my ginger ale to be domestic, Mary. Thank you very much.
I think ginger ale is one of the most divisive beverages there is.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I like ginger beer, but I've certainly
Ginger beer's too spicy for me. It gives me
Oh, I
heartburn.
love it.
That's
Moscow
how
Gives me
Verner's
heartburn.
is. Verner's is spicy.
I don't think so.
It's on the spicy side.
I feel like I
That's-
need to try some Verner's.
A
It's
lot of
been
people-
a few years.
Yeah.
A lot of people texting me have said the same thing. They're like, Verner's is spicy.
I don't know about that.
Got a kick.
I ate some of my Christmas presents from Bill and watched Rocky 4.
Oh, with Ivan Drago.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had never seen it.
And now you know why.
I liked it.
It stunk. But that's
I
okay.
thought it was very inspiring.
All right.
And it was a true comeback story.
Sure.
But
Now,
that's what I did in
now
Florida.
everybody loves Russians, but back then we considered them to be enemies.
I was like Googling, I was like, when was the Cold War? Like, did this line up with whatever?
Yeah,
why did everybody hate the.
Was Rocky 4 still in the 80s? Rocky
I think
3
it was
Yeah.
late 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like, I want to say like
88 or
87,
something.
87, 88.
I stopped after, because they did Rocky 5, 8, 7, and Rocky 4 was 1985.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Was it that early?
Yeah.
Man, they really cranked those out because what was Rocky? The first Rocky was like, what, 77?
76, I think.
76, okay.
Rocky 2 was 80, I think. Rocky 3 was 83. I'm just...
Yeah.
Now,
Spitballing.
being a younger.
Rocky 3 is still the high watermark for
That's
that
the best
series, by
one?
the way. Yeah.
Really?
And Mr. T, yeah.
No, that's the worst one.
No, it's the best one.
It's the
Everybody.
No, it's not the worst one. 5 is the worst one.
I never saw 5.
That's the Tommy Gunn.
Oh, God. Wasn't that the dude with AIDS in real life?
I don't know. I just know like they didn't even
Tommy
have like a
Morrison. Wasn't he
Yeah,
a
they-
boxer that had AIDS?
maybe.
Oh.
I was live tweeting it, and everybody said that Rocky 4. I got a lot of people that were like, "This is the best one. This is like the greatest. It's so much." The montages have me all worked up when he's like trying to train, but then he's remembering how much he loved his friend who died, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Man, this
What
is
friend died?
Apollo died."
Oh my God! Spoiler alert! Come
Spoiler.
on.
20 years
Jeez,
ago.
dude. All right.
I was so bummed out because I was like making fun of him for that dance, and I'm like, "Oh man."
You didn't know he was gonna die?
No, I've never seen any of these. And as someone who's only 30 years old, I've never like really gotten into them. And then I'm watching young Sylvester Stallone, and I'm like, man, he's
Yeah, Tommy
way
Morrison
hotter
died
than
of
I thought.
AIDS. He retired from boxing when he was HIV positive, and then he died about 7 years ago from AIDS.
Damn.
Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only been familiar with fat, bloated, old Sylvester Stallone. So to
Never been
see
really
him,
fat.
he's not like he was in that movie.
He's still on steroids and stuff. He still keeps it
Yeah,
pretty
but
tight.
he's like you know you see like the old man at the gym who's real strong, and you're like, oh, good for you. Like that's what that is. But
yeah.
young
But,
Rocky,
to call him fat.
I was into that.
No, you want to see him actual fat when he put on weight. Go see
Copland.
Copland.
Yeah.
A great movie, by the way. Copland with Sylvester Stallone.
He's not fat.
Huh?
No,
No.
Okay.
he's like
Well, he's
ridiculously
not like
not fat.
Whatever. I guess
You
maybe
blew
it's
it!
his face.
he's definitely
His face is like.
doing steroids and HGH and stuff, so he looks weird. He's
Maybe.
weird, but he's not fat.
Yeah, he's got this vascularity that no man closing in on 80 should have.
Right.
Yeah.
He's almost 80.
Yeah. Stallone is up there.
Sylvester. Yeah.
He's 73 years old. So he's had work done on his face, and it's got to be really tough. You look at
Oh,
a guy.
yeah, you're right. He's not fat.
You look at a guy like Schwarzenegger too. It's got to be tough when your whole career was built on your looks and your muscles and all that. You don't want to let that go. So you're working out all the time still, but you're seeing diminishing returns, and you end up looking weird.
Yeah, he looks weird.
But you're still
He's
jacked.
You're right. He's definitely not fat.
And Sylvester Stallone, I interviewed
it
him
back.
in person many years ago when I was out in Chicago, and he's like 2 feet tall.
Is he a little guy?
Yes. I'm not
Well,
a tall guy.
when he was standing next to the Russian dude,
Yeah.
I was like, dang. I thought the Russian guy was like 6'8", but he was probably what?
Well,
6'1"?
they wanted to
He's
make
like-
it look
yeah.
like that too.
Yeah.
They weren't going to have him
It's
up on
David
an
and
apple
Goliath.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie though. I mean, I was high, but at the
gonna
same
say,
time,
you were
That's
high.
fine. It's
Yeah.
I would say the first Rocky's the best one because it's like the underdog story, but it's not the Cinderella ending. It's just like it's the best, most cinematic of all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then the most fun one would probably be 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you
spoiler
really, if you
alert.
really want to test it, watch Rocky 5 while you're high.
Well,
you still won't enjoy it.
It was a Rocky marathon, and everyone's like, "Turn it off! Like you don't need to watch the 5th one. It's fine." Does he lose in any of them?
Yes,
Okay, which one?
just watch them.
I don't want to.
The first one. The first one he loses.
Really?
Yeah.
The first one ever they made him lose?
Yeah, but it's by decision. He goes the whole fight with Apollo Creed, which nobody expected.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's a moral victory.
And then Apollo becomes his trainer.
Yeah, but then in the second
you
one
go.
he beats
Wow,
Apollo.
guys.
There
I
wa-
know I'm
the-
35 years behind.
The
on
low
this.
point in that was when they were doing the slow motion run on the beach, I believe, in that might have been Rocky 3.
Yeah, that's Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you
this
go.
one where he's in Russia and he's like training with his own body and body weights and like moving rocks and stuff.
You got to
And
watch
then-
the early ones where he's punching beef.
Yeah, I like it. But then the Russian guy's like getting injected with steroids and he's like on these machines. Nature versus nurture, man.
Yeah, nature versus nurture. Alan, you tell Mary to shut her whore mouth. She was fatter last year than Stallone ever was.
Wow.
It's
Jeez.
100% accurate.
Thanks for listening to the show, Sylvester Stallone.
Signed Sylvester Stallone. Jennifer Stallone.
What's your BMI?
Uh-huh.
Listen, I enjoyed it. But yeah, I had a really good trip to Florida. And if anybody's thinking about just doing a little getaway, do it solo. Go to dinner. It's not lonesome or people like, what do? You just hang? I'm like, yeah, I'm a beach bum, so just laying on the beach for 5 hours made me so happy.
I never
I was
minded traveling
so
alone.
happy.
Never minded it. But perhaps you could offer travel consulting tips to people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could do that. I got
All
a
right,
lot
where
of
would
them.
I go? Because I don't like the beach.
You don't like the beach. Oh, you don't like a lot of things. You don't like the beach. You don't like people. You don't really like it hot.
No.
Why don't you go to a field in Iowa?
Well, no, you want to
That
send him
sounds
someplace cold where there are no people and no beaches.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Kirkutsk.
I've already been there.
Okay.
Minot,
I'll
North
have
Dakota.
to think about it.
You ever been to Minot, Bill?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
I've been to most of North Dakota.
Yeah. Well, also, it'd be hard to send you somewhere you haven't been for fun that
Right.
isn't hot or
And I do like
overpopulated.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I can be around people. I just don't want to interact with them.
You don't want to be integrated
necessarily.
into that
Yeah.
mob, is what you're saying.
Like, I'm not going to go to dinner and, like, start making friends. Although, when I went to Virginia earlier this year, we had a layover that was all, like, messed up. And I was making friends at the bar. Because
at you!
On vacation,
Vacation, Bill makes
I'm a
friends.
very different person.
Yeah.
I'm just there drinking, having a good time.
I met the guy sitting next to me at the bar at dinner. He showed up late and he had a pamphlet that was like Piano Fest 2020. And I was like, how was that? And he was like, oh, it's beautiful. And I was like, was it a festival of people who play pianos or was it like pianos? And you looked at the craftsmanship of them. And he was like, oh, it's a lot of both. And he was like going on.
Okay, and then you're like, I'm sorry I asked.
Well, he was like a
I'm immediately
retired
sorry.
captain. And I guess Fort Lauderdale is a huge yachting.
Captain of pianos?
of yachts.
Yeah, of yachts.
Fort Lauderdale and someplace in France are like the only two places you can buy yachts, or like they're the two most.
You can retire from being a yacht captain. I would just think, what does that involve? You just don't get on
He
a
was
boat
a yacht
anymore?
captain for 30 years, and then he camped across the country. This was like one of the most interesting dudes, and he's like showing me all these pictures and everything. It was really cool.
Because on vacation, friends, there's no risk. You can be whoever you want to
Yeah.
be.
Oh yeah.
It's like the first week of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want.
Hey, Joe in Philly.
Yo, what up, guys?
What's going on?
Alan, Rocky is a goddamn American hero. How dare you?
Oh, he's in Philly.
What did I say? Yeah, he's in Philly. Got that dumb statue there. What do I care? Guy's not even from Philadelphia, Sylvester Stallone. He's from the Bronx or something. But Philadelphia's got that dopey statue, and so everybody there allegedly loves the guy.
Sly is like one of those American dream stories. That dude had no money, had to give up his dog just to turn down people trying to buy that film.
Had to do porn. Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, if he does not make that movie, he has no career whatsoever.
Oh yeah, he said, he goes, I wrote this thing. It's got to be all me.
Oh, he wrote it.
Oh yeah, it was a big. That won Best Picture in 1976. That's what catapulted it.
I believe, yeah.
But you'll notice he kept going back to the well with Rocky and with Rambo.
Well, that's the thing about both those movies. You start off with Rocky and Rambo, and they're like these kind of. I mean, they're like real cinema, as Scorsese would put it, and then they get really cartoony in the sequels. But
because you got to go bigger every time.
Well, but I mean, the story that they're telling in First Blood is of a guy that has PTSD trying to survive post Vietnam.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Hey, you're pretty good. Go back over to Vietnam and kill some more people."
Yeah, and then he does he got himself into a rut, boy. Yeah. He was doing. Then he tried to do a Saturday Night Fever sequel, and the whole Tango and Cash was all right.
But eventually, it comes back around. So all those campy movies he made in the '80s, Predator, whatever, it comes back around when all those Fast and Furious movies come out, and they just go bigger and better.
Oh yeah,
more action, and he just does the Expendables. Like, the dude made a career. Who has a 40-year career in Hollywood?
No, I'm not knocking the guy at all. I think it's incredible what he was able to do. But it's funny to see, and the same thing with those Fast and Furious movies, where it starts with them stealing DVD players, and then they're like, "We need those thieves to save the world."
Oh yeah, right. There's a missile launcher they need to get. They were boosting cars. All of a sudden, they're international. Listen, two of Stallone's most underrated movies were early in his career: Nighthawks with Billy D. Williams, and Victory, where he is on like a soccer. Sounds ridiculous, but great movie with Michael Caine, where he's on a soccer team at like a concentration camp in World War II or something. And somehow they're going to get their freedom if they win the soccer match. As I say,
that's how important soccer is to the rest of the world. Like, if you can beat us at soccer, then you can go free.
You can avoid the ovens.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous, but those are
real good movies.
Really good films. Yes.
I think that's how we should do war from now on. Just
whoever wins the soccer match, we're going to lose.
We would lose every war, Bill.
No, it'd get us to focus on soccer more in America.
Oh, I see.
You get LeBron and Kevin Durant out there playing soccer, then all of a sudden they can be goalies.
They're not agile. Oh,
You're not getting anybody past them.
Yeah, that I agree with that.
We need to rely on athletes to win our wars? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then if they don't win, they're the ones that go down. Not innocent people.
Is the ball actually like a bomb and you have to block it, and if it gets into the goal, then
Mary,
it
that would be stupid because it would kill people all through the game.
I didn't realize.
And
I was just asking.
That would be too wasteful.
Okay, sorry.
Wow, think about that. Okay, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
This has been the Alan Cox Show, pandering to soccer fans.
All right, listen, I've got a break. I will have something for you. Oh, we're going to put people on Bill's Polar Blast team. Click, click, tube. We're going back
to... We got to put 4 on today.
Well, we'll do two today, 2 tomorrow, and then 1 Friday. Yeah, right. Because we're behind. So we're going to put people on Bill's Polar Blast team, and then the 7th, we go back up to Boston Mills Brandywine to do the damn thing. If you want details, if there are any discount tickets remaining, if you just want to join us, those are $10.07. You can look into that. Go to AlanCoxShow.com. Use the keyword Polar Blast.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free